This video is sponsored by SMW Autoblok. More than 50 years ago, one company made a decision to bet big on manufacturing right here in Kentucky. At the time, it didn't make headlines, it didn't look flashy, but today, that decision quietly powers manufacturers all over the world. So join us on this episode of Road Trippin' with Steve as we explore Mazak's incredible history and how Mazak machines are used to build more Mazak machines.
Hey, Steve, good to see you, man. How are you? Good, brother. Hey, dude, I like the look. You think you're going to be changing oil and horses now?
Listen, I was told we were meeting at a racetrack. You know, I didn't realize, I didn't put it together that it would be but you know, I got the horses anyway. So why Kentucky? Why are we here? What's the deal with the racehorses?
You know, it's the legacy. You know, the legacy behind Kentucky is racing, horses, thoroughbreds. We're here to see the other thoroughbred in Kentucky, and that's where the technology is going to come in.
Yeah, Mazak?
Mazak Corporation.
Heck yeah, man. My second favorite dream machine behind a Ferrari.
I'm really excited about this trip because, you know, I want you to see what we're here for and to discover the legacy of Mazak manufacturing in Kentucky and quality manufacturing. Can't you feel the legacy, Stephen? Can you smell it?
Larry was right. Not about the smelling part. It literally smells like barnyard. That's a wine industry term for it smells like poop or manure. But legacy really does stick out.
I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural.
Because in a world that moves fast, where everything's measured in quarters and deadlines, patience can feel like a luxury until you see what it actually builds. And that's what I was thinking about as we walked through the doors at the Mazak facility.
Hey, Dan. Hey, Steve, how you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you. Come on in. Well, welcome to Mazak.
Thanks for having us.
Good. Glad you found it.
All right.
Pretty easy. Hey, let's head on back to the conference room.
Dan Yonka, the president of Mazak, was here to walk us through the company's history and the bet they made on the United States nearly 50 years ago. Mazak first entered the U.S. market in 1968, almost 50 years after the company was founded in Japan in 1919. At the time, it was an unprecedented move. The first Japanese machine tool manufacturer to build a plant in the United States.
It was really Mr. Terry Yamazaki who was the catalyst and had the vision. And his philosophy was, if we're going to be successful in a region, then we need to produce, we need to support, we need to commit to that region for the region and for those customers.
Mazak gained something most competitors didn't: faster supply chains, closer service, and real partnerships with American manufacturers. That early decision became a foundation, and over time, it's what helped Mazak earn its place as a trusted name in American manufacturing.
We have solutions for every vertical manufacturing industry that makes something. Yeah, we have over 400 models of high precision, machine tools. When I think of our collaborative partners, such as SMW and so forth, that's a key element to the success of Mazak and our ability to partner and collaborate to provide a complete solution.
That commitment turned one decision into an entire ecosystem. And to really understand what that looks like, you have to step inside. Well, except the process didn't start inside, apparently. Matt, nice to meet you. Steve. Kevin, Steve,
Yeah,
nice to meet you.
Matt, good to see you. Kevin, good to see you again, brother.
You too, Larry.
So what are we looking at here? This looks like a Home Depot lumber yard, but for machine tools.
You got it. That's exactly it. So essentially you go to get some lumber for your home project. This is where we go for start of our machine. So this is raw cast iron that we get in from vendors, and then we're going to machine it inside our facility. In this end of the building, out the other end of the building, go our complete machines.
Wow, so these are the bones of the Mazaks.
Very much so.
Very cool, man. Cool.
Yeah, we'll show you the machining process and how we go through, build it up, and complete machine.
I'll admit, I was a little worried when they took us around back. because usually that means you've either done something wrong or learned too much. But standing back there, looking at raw, unworked metal, it made sense, because before any machine is built, everything starts exactly like this. And at this Mazak facility, they don't just start with the raw materials. They actually use their own machines to, well, build their own machines.
This is a huge table right here. Is this our first example of Mazak's building Mazaks?
This is definitely Mazak building Mazak. This is the largest Mazak machine that we make. And it's actually 2 tables.
Okay.
So tables shuttle in and out so we can load a table up while the machine's running. So this is where we'll skim cut our largest base castings or large castings. And we can hold all 5 faces and pretty much so make sure that all the linear guides, the ball screw areas, they're all machined parallel, perpendicular to each other, nice flatness.
You'll have to excuse me for completely nerding out over this, but this is one of the largest standard 5-axis machining centers Mazak builds. The table alone is nearly 10 meters long, designed to handle parts you'd normally only see in aerospace, energy, or heavy industrial work because of the size, but because at this scale, keeping everything accurate becomes exponentially harder.
So these 2 tables, they like slide side to side and they go in and out of like the side of the enclosure there?
They go inside the enclosure. Inside of there is the true 5-axis trunnion head.
These massive components can't be flipped, repositioned, or reset without losing precision. So instead of moving the part, this machine moves around it, cutting from nearly any angle in a single setup. And in this case, it's doing all of that to build more Mazak machines.
How do you true up a table this big to make sure it's perfectly flat?
Do it very well. But what makes this machine so awesome is that the head has a 4th and 5th axis in it.
Okay.
So really you can get the part set into place and then use probing to see how that part is skewed every angle, even yaw, and then the machine will compensate for how that large tonnage was placed on the table. The machine compensates for that irregularity, and then it'll compensate the entire program for it.
Gotcha. It's like a massive stable table.
Yeah.
Now that we got to see how the largest base parts of the Mazak machines were crafted, it was time to look under the hood.
And you're looking at the build-up, the start of your engine block of a car would essentially be, for a machine tool, the start of your spindle, your headstock. And that's where your bearings are going to go, your spindle shaft. Everything starts with these parts here.
And those finishes need to be perfect.
They are right to describe the spindles like an engine. The spindle, like an engine, has to run smoothly at high speed for long periods of time. Any vibration or imbalance doesn't just reduce performance, it shows up directly in the final part.
They need to be perfect.
So these parts started in the stockyard, then they went to those big gantry machines that we just looked at, and now they come in here for the grinding of the surface finish.
Correct. We want to make sure that it's a ground finish that's holding micron tolerances.
Gotcha.
So ODs, IDs, flat surfaces, you're looking at ground parts across many different ID, OD machines, surface grinding machines.
Now that we got to see how the largest base parts of the Mazak machines were crafted, it was time to look under the hood.
Are these the Legos to make the enclosure to the machines?
Yeah, this is all our sheet metal. This is some of the sheet metal that's just about ready to be put on a machine. Some of it gets painted, some of it doesn't, but it all started here in our fab shop in the same building here. We'll start cutting it on Mazak lasers through our optronics division. So it's a flat 5-foot by 10-foot sheet of sheet metal, and we laser out all these puzzle pieces. Then we bring them to brake presses, bend them up into boxes, weld them up with manual welders and laser robot welders, and then we paint them in this area, and then that sheet metal gets built up in the same building.
And so none of this is contracted out. This is all done in-house.
Correct.
This is just
Holy
another
cow,
example of
man.
Mazak's having total control over the process, from not only from the castings part, which they don't do their own castings, but they do all the manufacturing here.
Yeah.
They truly manufacture the entire machine under one roof.
It really was true what Mazak told us at the beginning. Mazak machines building Mazak machines, and like you probably just heard, Mazak wasn't getting complacent in their process. They were constantly looking for different technologies to develop to better manufacture their machines, like with laser welding. And not just laser welding, but laser welding robots.
And this is set up to do a lot of laser welding that you can do manually, but we can get a very precise laser weld. Something like this chip pan. Chip pan is a very critical part for us. It has to be welded watertight. So this pan is going to hold coolant, but this corner weld is a laser weld. So it's replicates very well every time because it's on a robot.
Yeah.
So the fiber laser creates a weld pool and uses only the parent material. So what makes that awesome is that the laser creates a lot cooler weld pool than a MIG welder. So it decreases the warpage of all the sheet metal in that area.
It was truly incredible just how massive this Mazak facility was and how much they were accomplishing just under one roof to bring all of the parts and pieces together to create these complex machines. And now we finally had all of the pieces to see how it all came together.
So these are all the parts we just saw.
This is a perfect example of what we went through. So in our stockyard, we started with the raw casting. This has been fully machined with the linear guide surfaces. Then it's been painted. Our headstock, that was on our big automated systems line. That was a raw casting, came in, it's been machined. All the ground parts, part of our spindle buildup, it's been ground in our FMF area. Then it's been assembled in our unit assembly area. This is a precision bearing, precision bearing headstock, complete preloaded. Built together, the headstock put on, this is what we call an aligned machine. So that combines it with
An aligned machine.
it's completely aligned. So the main Z-axis is truly parallel to the
Gotcha.
headstock center line. The X-axis is aligned to be perpendicular to Z. The turret that we saw machined back in FMF, that's assembled as a complete turret assembly now. So this aligned machine is a big step. So manufactured in this building and built up in this building. And then this is what we transition and add in the sheet metal to this complete machine.
Right. And this is a complete naked machine, and this is what it looks like with its bodywork.
Correct.
Wow.
So this is what we're very proud of, because like how we started and we've been going out through the whole day, is this was all done in-house.
Yeah.
It was machined in-house. The sheet metal was bent, it was welded, it was painted. Everything you see here was done here in Kentucky, in the United States, by everyone that you guys witnessed today. So this is why we're very proud. We manufacture all of our stuff here in the United States. This is our final product. You saw it from start to finish. Here she is.
Wow.
Look at this machine now. It's hard not to think about the history behind it, because this didn't start with today's technology. 50 years ago, they bet on the future. Standing here now, you can see the result. It started with a decision made decades ago to build here and to keep building here. And every Mazak that leaves this floor still carries that bet forward.
Well, Matt, Kevin, thank you guys so much for showing us around. This was a real pleasure. And we got to see some true Kentucky thoroughbreds, wouldn't you say, Larry?
I still think, and I know that, nobody wants me to say this, but I think this is the real Kentucky thoroughbred. They're not the other thoroughbred. The thoroughbred should be jealous of this thoroughbred.
If you liked this video about Mazak, you should definitely check out this episode about the secret piece that holds these machines together right here.